Hello, people. Thank you so much for joining me. Really apologize for not getting a message out yesterday. Things just kind of got a little out of hand. But glad to be back with you today. I want to continue talking about wisdom in the context of what Solomon said. A wise man wrote some incredibly wise things down. He made great promises that God would fulfill. He made great warnings that he needs for us to take seriously. And one of the great warnings is the warning of moral failure, but not just that, but any form of sinful deviance, any form of sinfulness that takes us away from God and his perfect plan for our lives. Now, we know that verse that says that there is no temptation that is taken upon you or come upon you that is not common to man. That means we all suffer the same temptations. But God always, with the temptation, will give a way of escape. It simply means, people, listen, that there is no excuse for falling into temptation. We don't fall into temptation, we choose to go into temptation. And when we choose that, then we choose that. That's our choice. But God has always made a way of escape, no matter what the temptation may be. Now, Psalm 139 gives us a great explanation as to what explains the reasoning for this understanding. You see, Psalm 139 was written by that great man David, who fell into temptation more than once. But David writes an incredible psalm that levels the playing field for us and is a great help to those who genuinely want to escape temptation. It gives to us a great tool. Listen carefully. This is what David says. Psalm 139. O Lord, you have searched me and you know me. God knows you better than you know yourself. You know when I sit, you know when I rise. You perceive my thoughts from afar. You discern my going out and my lying down. You are familiar with all my ways. Before a word is on my tongue, you know it completely, O Lord. You hem me in, behind and before. You have laid your hand upon me. Such knowledge is too wonderful for me, too lofty for me to attain. Here's the key issue. Where can I go from your spirit? Where can I flee from your presence? If I go to the heavens, you are there. If I make my bed in the depth, you are there. If I rise on the wings of the dawn, if I settle on the far side of the sea, even there your hand will guide me, and your right hand will hold me fast. If I say, surely the darkness will hide me, and the lights become night around me, even the darkness will not be dark to you. The night will shine like the day, for darkness is as light to you. There was a great monk from years gone by. His name was Saint Augustine. And Augustine had a beautiful principle of living your life practicing the presence of the God that we've just read about. Practice the presence of a God who knows you before you better than you know yourself. He knows what you're going to say before you say it. He knows where you go before you go there. He knows what you're going to do before you do it. God knows everything. That's the first thing. We call this the omniscience of God. There's nothing that God does not know, past, present, or future. And then he compiles that with the whole fact that there is nowhere where God is not. Now that's a good old Sunday school truth, isn't it? That God is everywhere. And he explains this so poetically and beautifully. If I go to the ends of the universe, you are there. If I go to the depth of the sea, you are there. If I go to the other side of the ocean, you are there. Even darkness cannot hide me from you. You see everything I do. Now, when you really are conscious of the fact that this God watches you, it makes a real difference in knowing what and what not to do. Would you want God to see you do some of the things that you do? Would you want your wife or your family to see you doing some of the things that you do? It's kind of like when we were at school and all the kids and the boys would be making paper aeroplanes and throwing things around while the teacher was out the class. But when the teacher came back into the class and his or her presence was seen, everything changed. Boys are at their desk, they're over their books, they're doing their work. Well, that's the school of the old days, maybe not so much today. But in the presence of an authority figure, in the presence of somebody who loves you, would you do the same thing? Now David is saying, this is what helps him from sinning. He says, create in me a pure heart, O God, because you know my heart. See if there be any wicked way in me. He finishes the psalm saying, and lead me in the way everlasting. When we live like that, really conscious of living in the presence of a God who loves us like this, I got to tell you, you take 2 seconds to think about that and sin will go. The temptation will be won over. And you're all looking and saying, can it be that simple? I believe people that it probably is. Temptation will probably come back, but you deal with it the same way. Practicing the presence of God in your everyday life is the way to go. It's a great tool. It's worked for others, and I hope it'll work for you. Bye-bye.